I have not looked at the Aligulac balance report in some time. By the way, the website looks a little bit different because this place just got purchased. So, Stegosaurus, who does a lot of StarCraft content, yeah, he is now hosting this thing and he bought the website, which is pretty cool. Yeah, we now even have HTTPS, which is also kind of awesome. Yeah, so pretty neat. Aligulac is one of those places that is actually very important to just StarCraft in general because it keeps track of all of the tournaments that are going on. But not a lot of people were aware of who actually ran this place, and sometimes it would just be like down for a week, and then we would never know anything. The balance report. So, the following chart shows the historical month-by-month win rates for each non-mirror matchup in the database. So, the database includes basically all tournament games. Now, you gotta take the tournament game with a grain of salt, because if you look at the actual rankings, it is gonna include people that are like, you know, this place right over here too. No disrespect to these people, but, you know, any of the top 10 guys can destroy these guys with their eyes closed, right? Maybe not quite literally, but you get what I'm trying to say. So you gotta kind of take it with a grain of salt, but usually it is kind of a nice indication. And always a nice moment for a bit of, let's call it dedicated balance wine. Yeah, these 2022 games, Protoss versus Zerg, this was the double Stargate Void Ray meta. February 2022. That was not a good time. This is the patch, by the way, that Blizzard left us with before the Balance Council. So a lot of people are always like, oh my god, Blizzard, oh, come back. Right? The Balance Council does such a bad job, yada, yada, yada. They literally left us with the double Stargate Void Ray meta. So anyways, let's have a look at where we are currently at. So let's just box it in since October. And then, yeah, this little graph over here on the right is the current win-loss ratio for each of the matchups. So, March 2026, Protoss versus Zerg apparently has a win rate of 59% in favor of Protoss for a sample size of 618 games. Terran versus Zerg has a win rate of about 57% in favor of Terran, sample size of 408 games. And then Protoss versus Terran has a win rate of about 54% in favor of Protoss. Now, what I find kind of ironic is that lately a lot of Terran players have been really quite vocal about how unplayable Terran versus Protoss is. But yeah, if you look at the actual numbers, Zerg is getting trashed. Yeah, it's a little bit messy, right? Even Serral seems to be struggling quite a bit at the moment. Now, I say that even though Serral does seem to be winning the majority of the tournaments that he enters. But you can definitely see the progression. So January, Protoss versus Zerg was at 57%. Then it went down to 52%. And now it went up to 59%. Which is pretty atrocious for Protoss versus Zerg. Terran versus Zerg seems to be progressing in favor of Terran. Protoss versus Terran is, well, still in favor of Protoss, but does seem to be a little bit more stable. Yeah. I wonder what these stats are like if you take the absolute anomalies out of it. Like, that's always the difficult part, right? Like, how do you balance a game like StarCraft 2? Do you balance around the top 5? Do you balance around the top 10? Do you balance around the top 20? Do you balance around the top 100? Do you balance around the top 10,000? Like, what is the correct approach? At the moment, it kind of feels to me that the game is balanced around the top 10. Like, guys like Serral are still able to win macro games. We see Solar doing reasonably well, but he's all-inning quite a lot. We see Rogue doing okay. What's kind of tough about this whole thing is that they will obviously also include some of those more messy games that Hero likes to play. So Hero has been absolutely destroying everybody. But then Hero is also the least stable player out there. The least stable while simultaneously earning the most money in 2026 so far. It's kind of confusing, really. Like, sometimes Hero looks like an absolute god of StarCraft, and it's difficult to imagine how you could ever beat him. And then in other games, he looks like a bit of a donkey. How do you actually balance Protoss around it? It's one of the difficult things. Now, currently we have Serral, so we have 1 Zerg, Solar, Rainer, so 3 Zerg players in the top 10. We have 4 Terrans and then 3 Protoss. Yeah, not bad at all, right? This is certainly, like, not a terrible spot that we are currently in. Like, the game will never be perfectly balanced. I think that's fair. It's not really possible to have the game... Yeah, Aligulac is way faster now. I noticed the same thing immediately. It's great. Yeah, I think balance-wise and win-loss ratio-wise, the game is fine. I do think the meta is getting a little bit stale. A lot of that can be fixed by just a different map pool. But I do think most of Protoss is kind of too well-rounded. Like, we're now really starting to see Protoss players find their groove with mass stasis wards and all the rest of it. Which, we haven't really seen the bottom of it yet. Like, I've got a feeling, and the trend seems to confirm it, but maybe I'm wrong. I've got a feeling that, like, if this patch sticks around for a lot longer, we are gonna see the Protoss win rate increase. Zerg seems to kind of be boxed into, like, a very boring early game at the minute. We see Rogue doing a little bit of cheesing from time to time, but it's kind of all more of the same. Mid-game Zerg has a bunch of options, but none of them seem that great. Terran versus Protoss. Terran is also likewise very boxed in, whereas Protoss gets to have like a dozen different viable options. I do think Protoss, at least as far as like scope of options go, or goes rather, I think they're a little bit too well-rounded at the minute. Maybe it's not super reflected in the win-loss ratios at the highest level. But Protoss just seems to have a lot of really good options, and Zerg and Terran don't. And I think we should probably have a little bit more variety for Zerg and for Terran. And maybe a little bit less variety for Protoss. At least, like, it's hard to say, right? Because it's not like Protoss has a million options either. But I would like there to be, like, viable alternatives for Protoss versus Zerg, other than a Stargate opener. Right? Like, we see Stargate into Blink Stalker almost every game. And it's fine. It's fun to watch. But I would like there to be a little bit more. I kind of miss watching Phoenix openers in Terran versus Protoss as well. I feel like that is one of those builds that's really fun. Terrans right now seem to be, at least in TVP, like if you look at the Marus of this world, if you look at like the Bjorns especially, man, like Bjorn has been playing like a middle-aged, or middle-aged, like a medieval knight. He's just sitting there in like 17 layers of plate armor, never attacking until he takes half of the map. Like that's effectively Bjorn's current approach in TVP. And he just sits there, he's just turtling. And especially when you have very aggressive Terrans like Bjorn, like he's known for his aggression, just never moving out. We do see some Terran players move out, I guess. Like, we see Maru moving out sometimes. He does a lot of SCV all-ins. But Maru is also Maru. I feel like Maru is another one of those statistical outliers. Just like Serral is. Like, there's a bunch of guys that play this game that nobody can really seem to copy. Hero for different reasons, but I really feel like Serral and Maru are just like kind of on another level. Maybe in like raw mechanical skill, Clem is better than Maru, which is fair. But Maru and Serral have this weird aura, man, where everything just seems to, yeah, be nearly impossible. Yeah, there's also replayman.com. Yeah, it's also pretty cool. I do know of this place. It's kind of nice. But yeah, it's a bit tricky. I also don't really know. Like, as far as, like, suggestions go for balance, I always think that, like, a new map pool can go a really long way. But I do feel like with Zerg and with Terran, you have a lot more options to go wrong. Whereas with Protoss, you seem to be able to kind of make everything work reasonably well. Like back in the day, the Void Ray was like the most well-rounded unit, and it kind of countered everything. I kind of feel like most Protoss units right now are kind of good at everything. Whereas if you look at like, for example, Terran or Zerg, the builds are a lot more hyper-specialized. I haven't really seen too many people actually make balance suggestions. Like normally at this part in the patch life cycle, we see people on Reddit and on Team Liquid and whatnot starting to write their own absolutely atrocious patch notes. I kind of miss it, man. It would be kind of fun. You know, one thing I would like to see? No matter how good a balance suggestion is, you're gonna get flamed. Yeah, no, it's very true. Look, I'm gonna die on this hill, okay? You know what I would like to see? I would like to see Hydra timing attacks make a return yet again. We saw that Sarah was experimenting with it against Clem for a couple games, and that was really fun, but I still feel like we have a couple options, okay? Either make the Hydra Den tier 1 and leave the upgrades for the Hydra Den at tier 2. I feel like that is a very easy thing to experiment with. I don't think it would be broken, but it would shave, well, the build time of the Hydra Den off of timing attacks. But then you're still playing Hydras. At the very least, it would make the Hydra a little bit more useful again, because I feel like right now it's really, I don't know, it's such a shaky unit. I don't really like it very much. I also think you could make Microbial Shroud available to the Infestor without research. That would make some mid to late game timing attacks much more interesting for Zerg, I think. Might be broken, honestly. Like, if you make Microbial Shroud available without the research, there might be some busted timing attacks that are just unstoppable. As far as, like, Terran buffs go, or TVP goes in general, I'm not 100% sure. I have seen a bunch of different suggestions. I didn't really like them all too much. I'm also not sure. Like, a lot of people do seem to agree that Protoss is a little bit too well-rounded at the minute. Yeah, Mothership HP is definitely a bit high, but I kind of feel like the entire game of Protoss is a bit too stable at the moment. It's very small, though. Like, the differences are relatively small. And just the new map pool alone could already shake up the meta a ton. Yeah, dude, the hero games are crazy. I keep thinking of that hero series I cast versus Rogue recently, where he opens up with his first pylon next to the gas geyser. He just goes for a normal 20 Nexus, and then he goes for a Stargate build and plants down the third base without ever making a natural wall at like 3.5 minutes. And then when he finally makes the wall, after somehow surviving to that point, he lets Zerglings run by like 7 times. How in the world is that representative of the #1 Protoss? It seems crazy to me. Like, the whole concept is a mess. It's entertaining, I will say, but... yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly what you do. That is true. Like, Hero is extremely good at dealing with Zergling run-bys when they're already in his base. I don't know if that's really, like, a skill to be too proud of, but he's very good at it. Yeah, I'm not sure. There was this this balance patch that Shin made on stream recently. Now, he made that on April 1st, and not a lot of people seem to catch on to that immediately, which is kind of ironic. He did it, like, late in the evening, US time, when it still was technically the 31st of March. I was gonna say December, but that's not right. He did it late in the day. So I think a bunch of folks got confused. They were watching his stream and they didn't quite realize that it was him having a bit of a giggle. Hold up, let me find it. Oh my god, I'm scrolling through the StarCraft subreddit, man. There's so much. Okay, I'm gonna use the search feature instead. Shin past month. Ah, here we go. Yeah. Shin discussing speculative soon-to-be live patch changes on stream. Yeah. And then at some point, folks caught on to the fact that it is there. Somebody made a, here we go. So this is Shin's balanced suggestions. Most of them are tongue-in-cheek. Maybe some of them are real. You know, hatchery cost, back to 300 minerals. Queens back down to 150 minerals. You know why I want this? I don't care so much about the mineral count, but you know what I really hate? When you build a hatchery and you cancel it, and you get this odd number of resources in your... Come on. Come on. You have to cancel the hatchery, and you get this disgusting value of, like, what is it? Like 213 or whatever back? I kind of hate it. It's gross. Maybe I have a bit of ADHD. I don't know. Could be. It's 207. Okay, I don't even look at it anymore. I hate it. It's ugly. Muta cost reduction would be OP. Queen cost reduction? Look, make the hatchery 300 minerals again. And then add the Hydra Den to hatchery tech. And then leave the queen at 175. It's okay. You could even maybe make it 200. That might be too much. I don't know. But make the Hydra Den hatchery tech. I think it's fair. This is too much. Swarm host cost supply. So from 3 to 2. Swarm hosts are a very finicky unit. I kind of hate it. Probably bad. Ravagers. This makes them survive more stuff. No, not necessary. Infestor cost reduction. Nah. Brute Lord morph cost reduction. Nah. Lurker HP increase. Nah. Hydralisk Lunge no longer requires an upgrade. Unlocked by Hive Research. This I do agree with. I actually think this is reasonable. Ultralisk movement speed buff. Do we need more ultra buffs? Nah, probably not. But I feel like the Hydra Lunge ability just being researched immediately is okay. Yeah, or maybe merge it together with Hydra Speed or something. The Hydra Lunge research is a little messy. It's also like such a small little jump. I mean, it's significant, but it doesn't really line up even remotely with, like, say, something like Blink or Stimpack or anything like it. It's not even remotely as good. Zealot movement speed post-charge nerfed? No. Sonic's transfer cooldown nerf? No. Stalker Blink cooldown nerf? No. High Templar cost increase? I don't think we need an Adept nerf. Nah. High Templar cost increase by 25 minerals? Maybe. Sentry Hallucination mana cost from 75 to 100. This would make PvP very boring. War Prism cost from 250 to 250. Now, this is actually something that I've seen pop up many, many times over the years, where people are suggesting it should cost gas to make a War Prism. I'm not 100% opposed to it, if I'm being honest with you. Like, maybe make it 150-50. So you can get an extra Zealot, but you pay extra 50 gas for it? Maybe? Maybe? I don't know. Tempest cost increase? Nah. Mothership shields? Yeah. You know what? Mothership's definitely a little bit too tanky, I think. Like, where is the minus 400 meme? I miss it. War Prisms don't cost gas? Nope. I think the War Prism has always been at the same cost. We can have a look at, like, the patch notes. Health reduced. Visual effect added. Cost increased from 200 to 250 minerals. Pickup range decreased. Minimap radius increased. Yeah. Oh, it's funny how a lot of you assumed that the prism would already cost gas. Yeah, it is interesting. You would kind of imagine it does cost a little bit of SPN. Especially if you consider Metavex and, like, also something like Overlord drops. It all costs gas. War Prisms are probably the more powerful option. I mean, Dropalords are definitely weaker than Prisms, and they do cost gas. Metavex, arguably, yeah, a bit better maybe than Prisms, but hard to say. Depends on the scenario. But obviously, Metavex also costs gas. The minimap radius thing, that is just the actual visual size of the square on the minimap. So apparently this was like at a small reduction. What's good on Flying Dominion? Hello. You're running a Discord for the StarCraft miniatures game Tabletop Simulator? I suck at Discord, dude. I'll be honest with you. The only thing I do on Discord is look at my DMs, talk to people there, and my own server. Like, I know I am part of like 79 different Discord servers, but I never look at any of them. I don't know if this is a good or a bad thing, but I've kind of like dug my own little echo chamber on Discord for some reason, man. Me joining another Discord is not gonna make me use it more, but maybe I'll check it out at some point. So this is Shin's patch. Ghost no longer deals anti-light bonus damage. No. I do think Ghosts, like, it's weird. I feel like Ghosts are a little overtuned, but they're actually not played that much. Like, you see them quite a bit in Terran versus Zerg, but not as much as you would imagine. EMP shield damage reduction? Thor armor increase? No way. This is a stupid thing. I agree with Shin on this one. Siege tanks, while sieged up, are not abductable at the moment. They are abductable when they are unsieged, but when they're sieged up, you cannot abduct them. This got added in the most recent patch. I think it's super stupid. Like, I don't even really care about the balance so much, but it's just insanely dumb to me that you cannot abduct a sieged up tank. It's just kind of clumsy. It's an unnecessary asterisk that has been added. Like, StarCraft 2 has always been a very clean game in my mind. I can kind of get on board with motherships not being abductable because they're literally flying cities. But, come on. That's so stupid. Viking Assault anti-mechanical bonus damage. This is going to make Vikings landed, especially against probes and stuff, a little bit weaker. I don't think Terran needs a nerf against Protoss. Viking armor increase? No way, dude. High-sec auto-tracking and Neo-Steel armor upgrades removed. Now, this is a curious one that I have honestly not really seen anybody mention. Terran does have a lot of, like, luxury upgrades in the late game, right? Like, the Medevac regen. We see that being used quite a lot. Advanced ballistics for the ranged upgrades for Liberators. The building armor. The high-sec auto-tracking. So this is the extra range for missile turrets. And then for planetary fortresses. Like, do we really need this? Do we really need more turtley type of stuff? It's a discussion. It's a separate discussion, I suppose. It is definitely a balance implication. But do we even want it? Yeah, turret range is an upgrade. Planetary fortress is already useless. Leave it alone. I feel like planetary fortresses rarely die with cost-inefficient settings. Like, I feel like they always get value. Because, yeah, you can see a Zerg crashing 30 banelings into it, but it's still going to be a net positive for the Terran. This kind of feels to me like an upgrade that is, like, left over from an olden day. Oh, the auto turret range also goes up. The auto turret is the turret that the Raven drops. Alright. Alright. Yeah, I feel like... Okay, Phoenix brings up a good point. If Terran has a bunch of luxury upgrades like this, maybe Protoss and Zerg should have one as well. Like, maybe add an additional range to spine crawlers and spore crawlers or something. And then to photon cannons and I don't know, shield batteries or something. Right? Like, would the Terran players here be okay with the idea of spore crawlers having additional range in the late game and photon cannons likewise as well? Would you be okay with creep being able to be spread further? Or larva coming out in larger batches? Like, that's the type of upgrade that this is? Like, do we really want to have more turtling in the game? Because it does feel a little weird to me for Terran to have a bunch of turtling stuff. and then for Protoss and for Zerg to not have it. Now, I don't think it would be beneficial to the balance of the game at all. I don't like turtling, but I know I'm in the, not necessarily the majority. I don't really like turtling games that much. My favorite race should always win and be better than the others. Okay, sorry, I forgot about that. Sorry. Yeah, Zerg's current win condition in the late game against both Protoss and Terran is to mine more of the map. Like, that's kind of the goal, right? So that's why I think a new map pool is already such a significant change to the balance of the game. Like, if Zerg would have an easier late game to play, they could become very busted very quickly. Now, there is currently a new Team Liquid map contest going on. This was announced about a month ago. And usually this will lead to, like, the next ladder map pool. I'm pretty sure. Where's the schedule? Yeah, so the maps have already been submitted. Okay, so currently we are in the judging phase. Then there's gonna be a test tournament next week. Or the week after that, whatever. Very soon. So Wardy is gonna be hosting that again. Absolute giga chat that he is. And then, public voting and ladder map selection is gonna be in May. Okay. Yeah, so we're gonna get new map pool, or the new map pool probably in like June or so. Pretty cool. I did see some of the map submissions. So here's character. I mean, I don't really want to go over them right now. They asked me to judge this once upon a time. Dude, this was so funny. Like, they reached out to me years ago. This is many years ago. They reached out to me from Team Liquid asking if I wanted to be a judge for the TOMC. But they very specifically said that I can't make content for it. Because apparently that would make other judges potentially biased. They said I had a lot of power, man. I declined politely, but they didn't want me making content or sharing my opinions publicly. I had to, like, do this privately. I'm like, nah, I don't think I want to do that. I like sharing my thoughts with people. This looks really nice, man. Agaton. Ooh, look at that. Wait, which one? Lumen. Oh, you may be talking about another one. Yeah, knowing myself, if I were to do, for example, map judging off stream or not recording videos for it, I'm gonna yap about it anyways. Apparently I can. I have actually not usually voted in these things, but apparently I can sway the votes pretty heavily. Yeah. Yeah. They didn't want me to be lobbyable, I guess. But hey, Agaton, if you slide me a crisp $100 bill over the table, I'll get the community. No, I'm just kidding. Or am I? No, I'm just kidding. Or am I? Rain Dance. I do like the look at this map. Maybe he's already done it. Coralscape. All right. Oh, look at that. We have a creep blocker. What a rich Vespian gas geyser. Yeah, I will do like an in-depth look at every single one of these when we actually get to the finalists. These guys are all very experienced though, so I highly doubt we're gonna get any terrible stuff. Here's the music again, participating too. These are all very well-known map makers. Is that Kerrigan? Did he put Kerrigan in the middle of the map? I'm pretty sure that's a top-down view of Kerrigan right over there. Arbiter? Psy Harvester? Okay. Storm Surge? Roughneck. Roughneck has a bunch of helipads. Lumen. Commander CHP. Who's Commander CHP? Do I know Commander CHP? Commander CHP. I googled it, nothing shows up. Huh, maybe I do. Maybe I don't. This does look nice. I am a sucker for these, like, backdoor, like, slide expansion things, whatever you want to call them. I'm a sucker for the backdoor, man. That's no, but, I mean, you can mine this out and get an easy base over here. And then, obviously, these things are gonna be bleeding out over time. Everbloom. I do think pink is an underused color in map making, dude. Pink is actually cool. Rose... Oh, no. Roche... Isn't this like pink ass in German? No. Roche Arsch. No. Roche Arsch. I hate it. Don't even need to see it. Okay, the map layout is cool. Washout. Yo, Commander's actually going hard. Commander CHP. I don't know if he... Oh, he made Persephone. Tato Citadel? Talisman? Celestial... He made Celestial Enclave? Wait a second. Does he go by a different username here? Oh, it's Patches. Ah, okay. I do know Patches. Apparently he's got a different TL username or something. I don't know. Alright. Cool. Celestial Enclave. Sorry, I forgot about that. Killer Smile. My submissions here before I forget. I went with the most conservative version of the wildest maps I had lying around. Cool, cool, cool. Stinger? Now I know what you're thinking. Stinger? I just... Containment? Dude, these guys are drawing maps on napkins, I'm pretty sure. Like, if you take these guys out to dinner, they'll be drawing maps on napkins before the end of the evening. That's how they pay. They don't even bring a credit card, man. That's how they pay for things. They just make a little squiggle. These aren't all the submissions. I saw Avex also had some on Twitter that I thought looked really pretty. No, I don't know what his Twitter is. Is it Avex Designs? I think it's Avex Designs. It is, yeah. This one looked really pretty. Exarch. Look at this. I mean, already... This has really strong Celestial Enclave type of vibes, you know? Exarch. I do love the Diablo vibe. Very pretty. Very cool. He did do another one as well, I think. Yeah. A little bit of purple versus blue. Some more bright colors. Sanctuary 3. Look, pink, I'm telling you guys. Pink and purple. Oh, this might actually be purple. Anyways. Yeah, the top of those towers did look very Warcrafty to me, right? This entire color, honestly, this entire, like, all the trees as well. Wait a second. Build more farms. Well, this is a StarCraft map, judging by the collapsible rocks and all that, and the Vespian gas and the mineral fields. But very strong Warcraft vibes, for sure. The map is called Blackrock? Okay. You know what? That would be fun. Ah, here it is. Yeah, Blackrock. Inspired by Terraform and ASL's Minstrel. So ASL is the Brood War tournament. Blackrock is a mid-ground only winding labyrinth of tall grass and lumber. Yo! There's actual orcs! Wait, the orcish watchtowers are actual orcish watchtowers. Slow. I hear you and obey. Voidstorm. Yeah, no, these are all very pretty, dude. So I didn't see him submitting any of the maps here on the actual TLMC thread, but I'm assuming he did. I'm assuming he did submit it all. I would hope so, anyways. Imagine making all the maps and then forgetting to actually submit them. Like you make your homework, but you forget turning it in. God, I'm getting college flashbacks right away. Please, no.